We're going to use the example from step 1 to learn about something called the distributive property. So it sounds fancy, but really all that means is that when I have a problem like this, where I have a 3 being multiplied by a group of something, I can distribute that 3. So think about the word distribute. Whenever I say, hey, you have $10, you can distribute that among your friends. That means you can take that $10 and give some to each of your friends. It doesn't matter how much, but you can distribute it among your friends. If I said I have a bag of candy and I'm going to distribute it among the class, that means I'm going to give the class the candy. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to take this 3. Now, let me say before I get into that, typically, according to GEMDOS, you would do what's inside the group first, the G, the parentheses, so 7 plus 4 first, and then you would multiply it by the 3, but I'm going to show you another way to do it. So if I did that, I would get 7 plus 4, which is 11, times 3, which is 33, but I could also take this 3 and distribute it to both the numbers. So since I have the 3 next to the parentheses, that means I'm going to multiply. So 3 times 7 is 21, plus 3 times 4 is 12. And I'm going to tell you right now, put a little star right here or something, because one of the biggest mistakes I see is that people forget to multiply it by the second number too. They just do 21 plus 4. But don't forget that 3 has to go with 4 also. And then you just add. And then 21 plus 12 is 33. We got the same answer. Now you might be saying, why would I do that when it's so much easier to just add that first and then multiply by 3? Well, let me show you. Sometimes you can't really do anything in here, but you have to figure out if an expression is equivalent. So I can't combine this 2 and this 3 because they have different variables. This one's an A, that one's a B. And I still have this 4 to deal with out here. So what I can do is I can take this 4 and distribute it. This 4 is being multiplied by this whole thing. So I'm going to do 4 times 2 first, which is 8. So that leaves us with 8a plus, and then I'm going to take my 4 and multiply it by my 3, which is 12b. So that is a simplified expression. So something you might see on a test is a question that says, find an equivalent expression to, and then the one that I just gave you, 4 times 2a plus 3b. And then this would be one of your answer choices right here, and you'd have to understand that they're equivalent. So that's why I'm showing you the distributive property. Let's try it with another one. So again, you know that according to GEMDOS, you should do whatever's in here first, then multiply it by 5, but we can't do that. That 2x can't be combined with that 3. So I'm going to take my 5, and I'm going to distribute it. So 5 times 2 is 10, so that gives me 10x. Don't forget to keep the x with you. And then 5 times 3 is 15, and since my operation is a plus sign, I'm going to keep that. So 10x plus 15. Okay, let's try one more. So 2 is going to be distributed among these two items. Now, you could actually do something in here. You could combine the two. So I'm going to get 2 times 4, which is 8x. Plus, and then 2 times x. Remember, if I don't have a coefficient in front of that x, that's a 1. It's not a 0 because that would mean 0 times x, which would mean it doesn't exist. So it's actually going to be 2 times 1, which is just 2x. So if I wanted to keep simplifying, could I? Yeah, we can combine 8 and 2. So 8 plus 2 is 10x. Okay, so I still want you to understand that this is equivalent. Okay, 8x plus 2x is equivalent to 2 times 4x plus 1x, or just x. But if I were to simplify it all the way, I would get 10x. So that is called a distributive property. So in your notes from yesterday, I want you to go ahead and add anything you learned from this. Go ahead and show a couple examples. It doesn't matter which ones you do, but you're going to need to practice it for the rest of your discussion.